Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon to vote for Black Manta or King Shark, and like and subscribe for the power of the sun next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Dr. Otto Octavius, also known as Doctor Octopus or Doc Ock, but never Doctopus for some reason. What's the deal with that? Would you watch a video of me doing observational comedy about the Sinister Six? That could be this video. I'm definitely not stalling because I have no idea how to make an octopus man. Oh, no, I'll just do Octoman from F-Zero. That's gonna be easier.
Before we start, has anybody lost a large roll of $20 bills in a rubber band? Because we found the rubber band. It's a terrible joke.
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need arms, and actually, since those are really our only goal, let's focus on what those arms do. First, we need to chase down the wall crawler, meaning we have to wall crawl as well. Jumping wouldn't hurt either. Next, we need them to keep us safe, because you don't actually have any superpowers, and getting punched by a teenager who can throw cars kinda hurts. Finally, we'll make sure that we can do science, because science rules. For stats, we'll be using the standard pointer right from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just make sure you got the big brain. We're gonna kick things off with intelligence. You have a superior intellect after all. You could make a really good Spider-Man if you wanted to. Constitution next, you're great at maintaining focus in stressful situations and don't even need to think about your arms. Wisdom after that, medicine is a wisdom skill and you are a doctor of octology. That sounds like proctology! What if Doc Ock was Doc Ock the Proc? I'm really not sure how to do this. I'm fully winging it here. Follow that up with charisma. You're a dork, don't get me wrong, but your dexterity should be bad because of your butterfingers, and strength should be worse. You tend to lose muscle definition when you don't use your arms. Variant human is a fine way to make a human, but everyone gets mad about those, and octopuses are only makeable through custom lineage. Grab the Keen Mind feat for +1 intelligence. You'll always know which way north is, you'll always know what time it is, but most importantly, you can remember everything you've seen and heard for the last month with perfect clarity, which should help you study up for finals at OctoU. Bump your intelligence again with your 2 free points, so you have 18 intelligence at level 1. Take Arcana for your skill of choice, and History and Performance for your skills of choice. You've got to know whether or not Edison slept before he turned on the light bulb, and you need to know poetry if you're gonna feed it to your future wife. This is all sounding kind of wholesome so far, honestly. You could be a really nice father figure to Peter Parker. Oh no, oh god no. We'll kick things off as an artificer because if you're gonna mentor Peter Parker, you need to be a scientist who goes mad after a horrible accident. Grab investigation and medicine for your skills, alchemist tools for your tools of choice, and tinkerers and thieves tools for free. Being a scientist is obviously a gateway to a life of crime. Don't let your friends do science. You're a magical tinkerer, letting you put a tiny message or puff of smoke, a small magical thing in a small non-magical item. It's honestly just things you could put on a desk toy, nothing too special until you get creative. But for cantrips, Thorn Whip is a pretty great tentacle attack, dealing 1d6 piercing damage with a 30-foot range, and it pulls the target 10 feet closer to you. Since this is a spell attack, it'll use your intelligence modifier, and since it's a cantrip, its damage will scale up as you level up. Light creates a light that will help you see with your dumb human eyes. It's not exactly the power of the sun in the palm of your hand, but it lets you see stuff. For your first level spells, did you know that we chose Longstrider and Jump for so many characters because they're fast and good at jumping? Longstrider increases your movement speed by 10 feet for an hour, Jump triples your jump distance for a minute, helping you run around rooftops with that pesky Peter Parker. Second level artificers get infusion, special items to actually give you some tentacle assistance. An armor of magical strength has 6 charges. You can spend those to avoid being knocked prone and add your intelligence modifier to a strength check. Are Doctopus's tentacles armor? Well, he wears them, and they help them lift things. So yes, I will say they are armor. Anything you wear is armor. Socks are foot armor, braces are teeth armor, a pacemaker is heart armor. That's how armor works. Enhanced arcane focus adds 1 to the spell attack rolls made with an arcane focus, and you can ignore half cover to make your whip arms a little more accurate. Your arms are also your casting focus, I guess, somehow. Enhanced weapon is a surprise tool that will help us later, but it adds 1 to the attack and damage rolls of a weapon, and goggles of night let you see in the dark with your dumb human eyes. They also cover like half your face with giant green specks. You can choose the flavor of how things look, and that's kind of a cool look for you. Third level artificers can choose a specialty, and armorers are great at smithing unique looking armor. Maybe armor that's more like a sentient backpack of protection. You get proficiency with smith's tools and heavy armor, and with arcane armor you can ignore strength requirements of armor and slap on some heavy metal. You can also use the armor as a spell casting focus, so now casting Thorn Whip with your armor isn't actually flavor, it's raw! The armor attaches to you and nobody can remove it without your permission, or the arm's permission since they sort of have a mind of their own. You get to pick a model you like best. I think Guardian works best for you, letting you make a melee attack with your armor that deals 1d8 thunder damage and uses your intelligence modifier. Creatures you attack with it have disadvantage on attacking other creatures that aren't you until the start of your next turn, making you a pretty stellar team member for the Foul 5. That sounds bad. Maybe get a 6th member. You can also give yourself temporary HP equal to your Artificer level as a bonus action and an amount of times per day equal to your proficiency bonus, helping you fight superhumans while really just being a guy who wears a cool prosthesis. Finally, you can grab some spells from the Armorer list. Magic Missile isn't super in character, but Thunder Wave lets you force a Constitution saving throw of 8 plus your proficiency bonus and intelligence modifier on a creature in a 15-foot cube in front of you, dealing 2d8 thunder damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed, and pushing the failures back 10 feet as well. Spin those tentacles super fast, and you can throw everybody back. 4th level Artificers get an ability score improvement, letting us cap off our intelligence modifier immediately, and thanks to Armor of Magical Strength, that basically means that you have a capped strength score 6 times a day as well. Actually, not really, your negative strength score still hurts it, but +4 is still good. 5th level Armorers get an extra attack, letting you make 2 attacks instead of 1 for a double claw combo. You didn't put 4 extra arms on your back to be just as productive as other scientists, you want to be more productive. You can also grab spells like Enhance Ability to give a creature advantage on skill checks of a certain type. If you choose Athletics, their carrying capacity doubles. If you choose Dexterity, they don't take falling damage from heights of 20 feet or less. And if you choose Constitution, they get 2d6 temporary HP. However you do it, the spell lasts for an hour depending on your concentration. I'd use Strength Boost to bring home all the money you stole without having to waste your magical strength charges. Shatter forces a Constitution saving throw on creatures in a 10-foot radius sphere, dealing 3d8 thunder damage to creatures that fail. Inorganic creatures and objects have disadvantage, so it's great at breaking through walls if that's your thing. That is your thing. You rob banks a lot. 6th level Artificers get Tool Expertise, giving you expertise with tools you're proficient with, letting you add double your proficiency bonus to those checks, which will probably use your intelligence modifier too. That's a great scientist, everybody. You also get 2 more infusions here. Spell Refueling Ring lets you recover a spell of 3rd level or lower automatically once per day, basically just an extra spell slot. And Sending Stones are little fantasy walkie-talkies you can use to communicate between. Sometimes villains team up, and Vulture's pretty into flying, he might be a little bit far away. 7th level Artificers get Flash of Genius, letting you add your intelligence modifier to an ability check or saving throw that happens within 30 feet of you. Since you're generally within 30 feet of yourself, this can be a great way to help all of the checks you're trying to make. You can also use this an amount of times per day equal to your intelligence modifier, so make sure you use them. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. 8th level Artificers get another ability score improvement. Did you know there's no strength or dexterity requirement for the athlete feat? It gives you +1 dexterity or strength. Go for dexterity, I guess. It doesn't really matter. We're here for a climbing speed, so you won't have to take an infusion later. You also get to stand up from prone with 5 feet of movement instead of half, and make a running long jump with 5 feet of run up instead of 10, which is really good because we're going to be a heck of a jumper by the end of this. 9th level Armorers get Armor Modification, breaking your armor into 4 pieces, 1 for your head, 1 for your weapon, 1 for your feet, and 1 for your chest. You can also have 2 more infusions active per long rest as long as they're one of those armor pieces, which means that you'll get more infusions than any of the other inventors. Who would have guessed the guy with extra arms is better at multitasking? You can also learn 3rd level spells like Haste to double your movement speed, add 2 to your AC, give you advantage on dexterity saving throws, and an extra action to dash, disengage, dodge, hide, use an object, or make 1 more attack, making you even better at multitasking for a minute, or until your concentration breaks. Then you're going to need a round off of actions and reactions as you reconsider how ethical it would be to explode all of New York City to build a sun on the earth. Weird plan. 10th level Artificers are Magical Item Adepts, letting you attune up to 4 magical items at the same time and just in time for some new infusions. This is the level where we're going to jump around. Boots of Striding and Springing triple your jump distance without the jump spell, and the Ring of Jumping lets you cast the jump spell as a bonus action at will for non-upple times your jump distance. That's 72 feet horizontally or 18 feet vertically, which is pretty insane, but then you realize you could just grab winged boots. Those let you fly. There are 3 boots you can infuse at this level. One of them's for jumping, one of them's for spider climbing, and then one of them's for flying. How is that not the best one? Why would you take other ones unless, I don't know, maybe you had a D&D channel where you build famous fictional characters as accurately as possible without giving them things they don't have? I guess that would be a pretty good reason, but that's very specific. 11th level Artificers get Spell Storing Item, letting you store a spell of 2nd level or lower into an item. Then you or someone else can cast that spell an amount of times equal to double your intelligence modifier. Using your intelligence modifier, you can put Shatter into a glove, then give it to another cool villain called the Thunderer. That sounds pretty dumb, actually. Shocker would be a cooler name, but it wouldn't make sense. It's not lightning. 12th level Artificers get another ability score improvement or a feat. The Sentinel feat shuts down a creature's movement speed after you hit them with an opportunity attack. You can ignore creatures when they disengage and hit them anyway, and you can make an opportunity attack when a creature attacks someone within your range that isn't you. Spider-Man is good at disengaging. This will ruin that for him. That is good for you. 13th level Artificers get 4th level spells. Freedom of movement prevents your movement speed from being reduced. You can't be paralyzed or restrained and can break out of shackles with 5 feet of movement for an hour. So you can lock Spider-Man down, but he can't lock you down. That doesn't sound fair. 14th level Artificers are magical item savants, attuning up to 5 magical items at once, and even get some that are fully busted. We're changing out our armor for arcane propulsion armor, increasing your movement speed by 5 feet. You get magical gauntlets that deal 1d8 force damage, and you can throw them 20 feet with your normal range, 60 feet with long range, but they come back to your armor then. So, in my mind, that basically makes it a 20-foot arm, like your tentacles. But wait, now your strength will be bad, since you're not using the armor of magical strength. If only there were a way to add 13 to your strength score in a single level. There is. What the hell? Whoever made the Artificer class deserves a pat on the back for making it bonkers. Belt of Hill Giant Strength sets the wearer's strength to 21, so you can interrupt your intern's date by throwing a freaking car at him. I think that's the definition of a hostile work environment. 15th level armorers get perfected armor for the Guardian model. That lets you use your reaction to pull a creature within 30 feet of you up to 30 feet closer to you if they fail a strength saving throw, and if that puts them within 5 feet of you, you can also attack them. You can use this an amount of times per day equal to your proficiency bonus, and pairing it with Sentinel makes you virtually impossible to escape from. Also worth noting, this is a reaction attack. You have 2 attacks from extra attack and 1 attack as a haste action, which means 4 attacks, which means 4 arm attacks per round. Boom. Doctor Octopus done. I'm a genius. We still have more levels though. Please finish the video. Watch time is important. 16th level Artificers get another ability score improvement or a feat. Let's grab the mobile feat for plus 10 to your movement speed. You can ignore difficult terrain when you dash, and creatures you attempt to attack can't make opportunity attacks against you, regardless of whether or not you hit them. That even ignores Sentinel. So if someone has Sentinel, they can't use it on you like you use it on them. It's bonkers. With haste, long strider, mobile, and arcane propulsion, your base movement speed is 105 feet. You can dash for 210 or double dash with your haste action for 315 feet of movement speed. Oh, and your jump distance is now 189 feet horizontally and 72 feet vertically with a jump spell up. Oh, and you have a climbing speed. So yeah, you're faster than Spider-Man and he can't run away from you. Yikes. 17th level Artificers can learn 5th level spells. Skill Empowerment lets you give a creature expertise in one skill they're proficient with for an hour depending on your concentration. So now it's not just your tools. You can be skilled at investigating, medicining, historying, performing poetry. Rosie, I love this build. 18th level Artificers are magical item masters, letting you attune up to 6 items at once, and you get 2 more. Let's break this build as much as possible, shall we? Amulet of Health makes your constitution 19. Remember, hit points aren't meat points, they're a reflection of your durability, defensive tactics, and sheer dumb luck. Your tentacles keep you alive very well. Ring of Protection gives you +1 AC and saving throws. It just makes you better to remember your dead wife. Big bummer. 19th level Artificers get our last ability score improvement or a feat. The alert feat adds 5 to your initiative rolls. Nobody gets advantage on you because you can't see them and you can't be surprised while you're awake. It's really hard to sneak up on a guy with 4 sets of eyes on his back. 20th level Artificers get Soul of Artifice, letting you add 1 to your saving throws for every item you're attuned to, meaning +6 before you've added proficiency or any ability modifiers, and the first time you should hit 0 HP. You can break one of your infusions to stay at 1 HP instead. As an armor, you have 2 more infusions than any other Artificer, making this even more busted. Hooray. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you are nearly impossible to get away from, with ways to lock people down, shut down disengagement, or just chase them with insane movement speed. They also really should run away from you because you're gonna outlast anyone you fight with 21 AC and full plate with haste up, a +7 minimum to your saving throws to resist spells, over 170 HP, and the ability to give yourself 20 temporary HP as a bonus action 6 times a day. Finally, you're loaded with tools to get the job done and skill empowerment to just decide you want to be an expert at something when you need to be. For weaknesses, your damage is only pretty good, not very, very good, with only 3d8 plus 21 damage per round from your gauntlets not being a giant amount of damage. You also only have the spell slots of a half caster, which isn't as many as a full caster would have. Finally, you don't have calligraphy proficiency. This build is garbage. If you couldn't tell, those cons were really hard to find, except the calligraphy thing. That's messed up. But turns out 4 extra arms really do help you get things done. Track down the spider, block all his attacks, and stop him from running away. There's no one he can stop someone who is really superior to Spider-Man. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon to vote for Black Manta or King Shark, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.